Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 201, and we're going to be talking about a lot of really crazy stuff tonight. We've got a bunch of giveaways. I see the chat room's already lighting up because people are here ready at the live show to see if they can win some stuff. Celebrating episode 200 last podcast, we talked about how we're going to have some giveaways on episode 201. So the chat room is just blowing up. We're going to get to you guys. We're going to be, like I said, giving away a bunch of stuff tonight. We're also going to be talking a lot about what we've been playing. We're going to talk about Animal Crossing updates, Smash Brothers updates, Pokémon Unite being announced. We're going to talk about some possible rumors of physical games coming, Breath of the Wild 2 rumors, Joy-Con stuff, a whole bunch of stuff happening tonight. But before we get into any of that stuff, let's do some introductions, because I think we do have some brand new people joining us tonight for the first time. So my name is Steve, but I'm also joined by Barry. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Happy to have everybody here. Happy to be talking Nintendo. And let's do it.
For sure. And I'm also joined by Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hi, everyone. Great to be back. Love being on these podcasts and talking Nintendo with you guys.
For sure. And thank you all you guys for joining us in the chat room. We do have some new people. I'm noticing some new names on that. It's awesome to see you guys joining in with us tonight. And if you are listening after the fact, you're watching after the fact, anything that we talk about, we'd love to know what you guys think about it as well. So either use the live chat if you're watching live, or make sure you let us know in the comments after the fact. We'd love to know what you guys think about that. But you can also follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at NintendoFuse, so pretty easy to find us on any of those platforms. But if you also want to join our Discord, that'd be awesome. We have a Discord that we love for you guys to join, because we can carry on this conversation between episodes, and it's a great place to find some community and connect with other gamers. So be sure to join our Discord. All those links are going to be in the show notes for our podcast, but also in the description down below here on YouTube, and you also saw it on the screen as well. So before we jump into the news and everything, what have you guys been playing? Let's talk about what's been on our playlist as of late, the last couple of weeks. Barry, what's been up over the last couple of weeks?
Quite a bit. And again, that's mainly because of my deal with being on the Switch Mania Playcast. So for those of you listening from there, I have we did Holy Potato What the Hell, which was our last episode, which is a really quirky puzzle game that none of us liked it. Spoiler. We really didn't. And what I'm playing for next week is a game called Urban Flow that just came out. That is an interesting puzzle game that involves controlling traffic lights and making sure cars don't crash.
Oh.
It sounds simple, but I can assure you it's not.
It sounds like one of those games that starts out really simple and you're like, I got this. And 10 minutes in, you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, remember we did the game chat on Damage in Transit, and I was watching two things.
Yep.
We'll try picturing multiplying that by not just 4, but like 6. Like sometimes you have all 6 buttons. You have 6 lights, and they're all different traffic, and then you got ambulances that have special priority, and it gets crazy. Makes Damage in Transit look like a baby's game. For our 100-hour challenge, last week I did Old School Racer 2, which is actually like Trials. You would probably like it, Steve.
Okay.
It's like the old school Trials, not the urban Trials, but the original Trials. And this week I'm actually doing a game called Preventive Strike, which is a top-down shmup where you're a helicopter. Kind of reminds me of like the Jungle Strike back in the Genesis days. I did Smash Brothers. I went back. We're going to talk about that, but I did do that update and played around with Min Min. I'm still playing Animal Crossing. There was an update there, which again we'll be talking about. So I messed around with that. I started a new visual novel, Collar Cross Malice, I believe is how it's said, or X Malice. It's slow so far. It's a really good story, but it's slow, and it reminds me very much of Steins Gate. Very little bit of interaction, and it's like I really want to get into it, but it's also one of those like, do I really feel like doing a slow game right now?
Yeah.
And because I didn't feel like that, I actually started on the PS4. I started Persona 5 Royal because I've heard so many good things. Everyone's talking up this game. all right, I'll finally play it. And so far, I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
It's different. It's a different RPG, but I really enjoy it. I'm playing it on the easiest difficulty, mainly because it's a long game, and Paper Mario's coming out soon, and I want to be able to play Paper Mario.
Nice.
So my goal is to hopefully finish it before then, or at least finish the majority of it.
Did you play the other Persona games?
I played Persona 1, and I tried on the PS1 originally, and I didn't really care for it. And then I tried it again on the PSP, and I liked it a little better, but I never finished it. And Persona 1 was like first person, and I'm not a big fan of first person type games. But I never touched any of the others, even though I own them. And I've heard good things. Like, people will probably be like, you have a Vita and you haven't played Persona 4 Golden? Like, that was the one game. And I played other games on my Vita, and I have Persona 4 Golden. I just didn't play that one. Will it make me want to go back and play the other? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I know a lot of people love the series. I just did Tokyo Mirage Sessions just earlier this year, and I definitely see the similarities between that game and this game. Just in a lot of the style. So I'm kind of jiving more with it because I just did Tokyo Mirage. On mobile, I'm still doing Mario Kart Tour and Dragalia Lost. Mario Kart Tour is actually taking a little more of my attention than Dragalia Lost now. It's interesting. Dragalia Lost right now it's just busy work. It's like, here's the newest event, and it's going to be here for 14 days, and I finish it within 2 to 3 days, and now I'm just running through it for mundane rewards, and I'm like, can I have something new? And of course, on the PC, I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14. I'll always be.
Nice. I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. It looks like Closable Closable 8 says that they got a Wii U and a PSP tonight. So congratulations. Nice. That opens up a whole lot of games. Jesus or Jesus, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. Sorry about that. But he's just been playing Animal Crossing. And let's see if anybody else has been talking Animal Crossing as well. Animal Crossing. And he also wants that Mega Man behind you, by the way. Dave said he took him 150 hours on normal difficulty for Persona 5 Royal. So
well, I'm an easiest, like the easiest difficulty. You can't even change it anymore, and I'm fine with that. So
nice. Greg, what have you been playing?
My staple, Fire Emblem Heroes on mobile. So that continuing on with that, they just had another bigger update there. So I've been tackling that and going through the new content. Definitely was playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, going through the update, which obviously will go into more detail there. And then I was also taking another look at What the Golf. That's still a really fun game, and had some more fun doing some more crazy levels, including some first-person golf levels. Those are quite interesting. So if you ever wanted to play golf in first person, that'd be the game to go to, because you're actually the ball. So
so it's not like you're looking down at the ball. Like you are the ball.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was a whole fun world they did around that. And then I actually popped in Yoshi's Crafted World a little bit more. My daughter wanted to play it. She's like, we haven't played a Yoshi game in forever. So it's like, all right. So I did some more co-op and found a few more coins and whatnot. It was only a very brief stint that we did that. I did not get a chance to look at the update for Super Smash Brothers, though.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. Jared said he just beat Superliminal. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. But it just came out on Switch. And other than that, looks like Animal Crossing and Smash and Pokemon Go, Mario Kart and mobile. Question, Greg, I know you haven't played Pokemon Go in a while. Barry have the updates and the upcoming big tournament or whatever, the Smash or the Pokemon Day, that gonna convince you to get back into it?
No, Pokemon Go was one of those games that I played every single day, and it was a point that I had to catch a Pokemon every day, which was usually easy. I could do that from my house, but I had to spin a Pokestop every day, and I had to do a daily challenge every day, and it just got to the point where when it would be wintertime, I would go out in the snow just to spin. When I was on, traveled on vacation, I made it a point hey, we got to go out of our way to find a Pokestop. It took over. it became a daily thing. And if I missed a day, it was like I feel like I failed it. Like, oh my God, I'm just such a failure. So when this whole COVID thing happened, I stopped, and I was already, the fact that that's all I was doing every day was just, it was busy work.
Yeah.
It was added busy work. It was a chore. I wasn't having fun with it. I used to do raids with a bunch of people in town, and we used to have a community, and that part was kind of fun. But none of this new stuff. It doesn't matter. My inventory's full. I've got the max amount of Pokemon, and I got to go through it all and to delete stuff. I hate inventory management.
Yeah.
Like, give me infinite inventory, and I will never have to clean it out, and I am a happy camper.
Yeah.
You restrict me, and I suddenly have to start going through and deleting things and removing things. It becomes tedious, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm no longer having fun. So, and none of this is.
It would be nice if, like, I get the whole, like, microtransactions and all that stuff. It'd be nice if they just did, like, a higher price to get unlimited inventory. Like, that makes sense. They could still make money off of us, and then we don't have to worry about that anymore. So.
Yeah, that would be great if they did that.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No, not so much. Let's see here. Yeah, some people are asking about the Smash stuff. We're going to get into that really, really soon. Can talk about the updates and things like that as well. But what I've been playing, I've been playing 2 games, and only 2 games, and you guys probably know what they are already. And that's pretty much.
I know which game it should be, but I know it's not there.
No, it's not. However, you can't see it in this angle. You guys can, because you see more of my screen. But those on YouTube actually can't see it right now. But over my right shoulder, right back there, I have a new addition to my home office, and I actually have a monitor set up over there, and you'll see my PS4 is actually connected. So the first time I connected in like 2 years. So it's no longer just collecting dust under something. And then on the other side of the monitor over there is my Wii U. It is set up. So all this talk about Xenoblade made me think, you know what? I've got another Xenoblade game that I really enjoyed. And maybe I won't get to Torna right away, but I really did enjoy X. And so I fired it up. I'm charging my controller and things like that, and do plan on playing a couple of those Wii U games that I haven't touched in a really long time as well. So.
Playing X is acceptable.
Yes.
But then you have to go on to Torna and 2 and 1.
But what I have been playing is Animal Crossing, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Really just doing a lot of the stuff. I'm on my final loan, so I'm like a little over halfway there for paying off my final loan. So excited about that, and then kind of got the basics of my island all set up now, which is cool. Like, I've still got to fill in the gaps because I've got some big open areas that eventually I'll put things there. But the things that I have right now are in the basic places that I want them. And so it's been kind of cool to just hone that in a little bit more and start going after stuff that I want to add. And then Rocket League, of course. I don't brag necessarily. I have no room to brag at all. There are people that are like so much better than I am. But I have, for the last week, I've been on a really good streak, we'll just say. And I finally, and this is going to tell you how not good I am. I'm nowhere close to even champion or grand champion. But I finally got into the platinum rank last night. And so for you guys that are unfamiliar, it's like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, champion. But I have been stuck at gold for so long, and finally got into platinum rank, and almost at platinum 2, actually. There's like 1, 2, and 3 of each of those. So finally got into there. And Jesus just said he's coming over, man. He's gonna steal your.
He didn't say which one.
That's funny. Let's see. Kyle loves Xenoblade on Wii.
Good man.
So, Greg, even though you don't like the control scheme and the battle system, Kyle's gonna argue with you on that, I guess. Dave says that he hates the resource management on resource management on Horizon Zero Dawn. But he put the difficulty to story because he just wanted to get the game over with. I love that there are games that do a lot of more of that, like have that really super easy modes nowadays, because there are some awesome stories that are being told through video games, and it's cool that you don't have to necessarily grind through them to enjoy that story. So that's really cool. But if you do want to, that option is there as well. All right. Before we get into any news and stuff like that, what do you guys think about? Let's do a giveaway. Let's just throw one right up here at the front. Think so?
I think we can do that. Absolutely.
All right. Let's do that.
You know?
What are we going to give away? We have like 9 different giveaways. We
Yeah,
have 3 different eShop cards, right? And we have
Yep.
6 different games that we're giving away tonight. So we'll announce whether this person gets a game or an eShop card,
Yeah.
right? And then we'll
it'll be a game. The way we're gonna do is we're not gonna tell you what games. We got a bunch of games. In fact, we could say some of the games that we do have, that we do in this pool, and we will be sending out, afterwards you'll DM us, and we'll send you one of the codes at random, from what we have.
Yeah. So we just basically have all the people that have retweeted and stuff like that entered into a big list. We've got a random number generator that I'm just gonna kind of run that, give Barry a number, and whoever that is will announce it. And later after tonight, once we get done with all this, we'll make sure that we're actually following you on Twitter, so that you can actually DM us from the account that you won from, and then we'll just send you that code for that game or that eShop card. That's how we're going to do it. So Barry, you ready for a number?
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Clicking the button. We got number 51.
51.
51.
Oh my God. That would be BFW at Big Fly Walking.
All right, congratulations. So, are we going to tell them anything about what they won? They win a game. They win an eShop
won a
card?
game code.
A game code. All right, cool.
It was a game code. So BFW. Let me mark that actually down that they won.
Cool.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Jesus asked for our Switch friend codes.
Yes.
Dude, if you actually join our Discord, we have a channel in there with all of our Switch friend codes right in there, and you can just hop right on there and add anybody that's also in there. So another.
Yeah, I can. Will they let us post a link to that in the chat? Probably not.
Maybe not in the chat, but it should be in our in the description underneath the YouTube video as well. So you should be able to find it right in there. But if you have your code, I guess you can toss it in the chat as well. But the easy place to go is just our Discord. All right. Well, that's one giveaway. Should we do another one, or should we just space it out?
Let's do the first topic first.
All right. Let's jump into a couple updates. And Greg alluded to this earlier. Smash Brothers had a little update. We talked about it on our last episode. We have Min Min came from the ARMS. I guess you can call it a franchise. I just got one game out there so far. It's an
ARMS
IP, the ARMS IP. So Min Min came, and we had all the stages and there's this new stage and songs and everything that came with her. But we also had new Mii Fighters, updates to Spirit Mode. All these different updates came, and that dropped on June 29th. So not too long after our last podcast is when that happened. And so that happened on June 29th. Greg, you've already said that you haven't checked it out. I haven't either.
Oh my God, guys!
I actually had some time to do that today, and then I realized that I haven't actually bought the new Fighters Pass yet, and so I was I don't want to have to go through and buy it all and everything yet. So I'm holding back on it. So Barry, it's all about you. What do you think about Min Min so far? And the real question is, have you got her to freeze? Because I've heard that she does this like T pose freeze if you do a bunch of combos and the same way over and over again.
No, I did not actually get that to happen, but I did play through her I went through her classic. It's usually what I do is I go through the classic mode to get the little check mark there and to get the spirit. And she plays very differently. And it took me I set it to like 0 difficulty, just because I didn't want to get my butt kicked. I wanted to at least feel her out. I didn't go into training. I'm not a hardcore or anything like that. But yeah, she plays really differently because each button is different fists. So it's and you could have one fist go to the right and one fist go to the left, and it was like a whole dynamic when doing that. And she feels really interesting, and I'm really happy the way they included her because I'm a big fan of ARMS. I thought it was a really breath of fresh air. It got me up and actually using the Joy-Cons, and a lot of fun. So I like to see the inclusion in there. I also did the spirits, got all the spirits, and I had missed a few spirits from the previous event, so I finally have them all again. So I was able to go through and get the last of those. And I didn't really mess around with the rematch because they added like that rematch feature, which is kind of cool. But it didn't import your previous best scores. So you would have to literally fight them all again to get. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Ain't nobody wants to do that. Yeah.
I don't have time for that. But yeah, I enjoy her. I went through. The DLC have their own special spirits. And what's interesting is they actually pulled the existing ARMS spirits into that DLC pool. But it actually shows complete, like Twintel was there, and Springman was there, and Ribbon Girl. So they are still listed there, but they automatically have the check mark if you've beaten them. And Min Min was not pulled into there. And I went back through and I found the original Spirit Min Min, and I actually decided, let me do the rematch just to see, and it's still Corrin. It's still female Corrin. I was wondering if they would update that, because they mentioned updating spirits. Would it update to actually Min Min? But no, it doesn't. It's still, at least when I played it, it was still female Corrin, which kind of disappointed me. I would have hoped they would have updated that one to Min Min, because now she's the only fighter that actually has a default spirit and a fighter spirit, which is kind of cool.
That's interesting. Nice. Did you check out any of the Mii costumes at all, or?
I have not bought a single Mii costume outside of the Rex one, which came with Pack 1, and the Guardian, armor, which came with Pack 2, and that's mainly because I'm really hoping at the end they do like some kind of costume pack where you could just buy them all at a discount. But I would only be buying them for completionist's sake. I probably wouldn't be using them much, and I don't really feel like spending the money on that. I'm still hoping maybe at the end they'll re-release Smash with like all the content on the card, including all of that. That'd be wonderful.
A Game of the Year edition sort of thing.
Or even like a Nintendo Selects, like Smash Ultimate $20 Nintendo Selects with all the DLC fighters. Oh, that'd be great.
That would be. That's the new Ultimate game that they're going to come out with, and they'll call it New Ultimate.
Nintendo New Ultimate,
New Ultimate. It's New Ultimate 3D.
That's right.
64.
Right. Super New Ultimate 64. All right. There has been a little bit of controversy or some stuff going around with Smash and everything too. We don't want to necessarily spend a ton of time on that, but do you guys have any thoughts around the tournament, the Evo stuff, and everything else that's been going on at all?
It's just sad. It shows that some people will let fame of any kind go to their head and think that they're invincible, and that think that they can use that as a platform to take advantage of other people, and it's terrible. I'm not going to stop playing Smash or enjoying Smash because of it, because it has nothing to do with that. It just happens to be a catalyst, and it really is. It's sad just why we can't have nice things. I like Evo. It's one of those things I look forward to because I'm not a competitive fighter, but I like watching competitive fighting. And I was looking forward to it. And it was online this year, but there's a lot of corruption, unfortunately, in this world. And let's hope that things get better before they get worse. Yeah,
that's true. All right, well, let's move on to something I know we've all been toying around with is the Animal Crossing update. There was an update that dropped on July 3rd, so just a few days ago. Game Rant has the full rundown here of different things that were included. The biggest thing is that we can actually go swimming and diving now. So it's one of those things that we've been kind of speculating, is this going to happen or what? And all of a sudden they just dropped it out of nowhere, that we can do swimming and diving. We can catch sea creatures and donate them to the museum. Pascal the otter comes back, and you can give scallops to him, and he'll give you DIY stuff and mermaid furniture, things like that. There's also Pirate Gulliver, who will give you some piratey loot, I guess.
It's Gulliver.
And then they also did tweak the encounter frequencies for different visitors as well. And they announced that there's going to be another update coming in August. So what do you guys think about this update? Has it gotten you more excited about the game? Greg, I'll go to you first, because this is your first Animal Crossing game, so all this is brand new for you. So we've been swimming before, but this is your first time. Has this making the game even more exciting for you the first time playing it?
It definitely was. Once I had told my daughter that we could be able to swim, she was like, "Oh, can we jump in the ocean right now?" I'm like, "No, we gotta wait for the update. It comes on Friday." And then it was like Friday. She's like, "We get to jump in the ocean today." I'm like, so it's like, just had to see it and experience it. I downloaded the update the Thursday night, when it posted, and then unfortunate that you couldn't buy a wetsuit at that point because it wasn't in the special shop, and my Nook's Cranny was already closed for the day. So that part was unfortunate, but it was still pretty cool to experience that the following day and go jumping in and collect a bunch of sea creatures. So that's definitely added some new enjoyment to the game, and you can get more DIYs. You can do everything. It just seems like Pascal's kind of rare for me. I've caught a number of scallops, and I've only seen them once. So I don't know how that's working. I haven't found a single pearl yet. Supposedly you can find those too.
Yep. Pascal comes once a day. It's random whether he comes.
I got him twice
on the same day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's rare. I've heard other people having him more than once a day too. I don't think I've heard any more than twice. But I think it's very similar to the message in a bottle thing. If you play early enough and late enough, you can get two in one day. I think it's very similar to that. So yeah, I only caught 3 or 4 scallops, and he came on the first one and the last one. So,
you got stupid lucky.
Yeah, hasn't happened since then, but one day it happened. So anyway, Greg.
Yeah. So. Yeah, my first encounter with him, he gave me the Mermaid Vanity. I haven't obviously built it because I still haven't found pearls, so they're supposedly down there, but I can't find any of those. I did a whole lap around the island and still haven't found any yet. So I have found 18 of the 24 possible creatures. I did research that a little bit on the Animal Crossing wiki, that there's 24 available for the month of July in the Northern Hemisphere. So, so I still have a few more left to go there. Exciting to see that there's going to be a fishing tournament on Saturday, so I'll be logging in and playing that just like the bug off. So that's definitely kept the interest there, and we're continuing to make our island a better place and everything like that. We've been revamping a number of areas, and just adds more things to do and collect.
Nice.
Just wish we had more pocket space and more house storage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That also the change to the people thing is much appreciated. We didn't see Red the entire month of June, where we saw Flick 3 times. So you can totally tell that that's working, and you can supposedly, if they haven't shown up, they increase their chance. Nope, it wasn't the fact for us. So
yeah. I'm going to interrupt real quick because Jesus mentioned this. I think Molten Sky mentioned this in the chat, and I just pulled up my email to confirm it, and I got the press release from Nintendo that later this month. I'm trying to find the exact date right here. Breaking news.
7/15.
Okay,
yeah.
so 7/15, July 15th. That The Nintendo Online service is going to get updated. The SNES is going to get Donkey Kong Country is coming to the SNES, and then Natsumi Championship Wrestling, and then the Immortal is coming to the NES. So I don't know anything about those latter two games, but that's really exciting that Donkey Kong Country is coming to the SNES. So fantastic news for people that have and have not played Donkey Kong Country. It's an awesome game, and that's pretty exciting. So thanks Molten for pointing that out. Very rarely does Nintendo give us breaking news on the podcast. Usually it's like right after we finish. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Greg, anything else to say about all that?
Yeah, I'm excited to play Donkey Kong Country. I had started it on Wii, and then once I had lost the Wii data, that took my save file with it, so might be a chance to actually try it over again. Hopefully it'll actually stay on the shop for like the rest of the time that the app is up, and they won't be just taking it down in like 6 months, and it's like a limited time access thing.
Right.
They had fun taking him down on Wii and Wii U, and they put the entire trilogies up there, so...
Yeah.
And then bring on DKC 2, please. That's like my favorite one.
Is it really? Nice. Went to some Donkey Kong 64 when they finally announced 64 games for the Nintendo Online service. That'd be great. Barry, what's your thoughts around all the Animal Crossing updates?
For Animal Crossing, I'm really happy with it overall. Animal Crossing has turned into one of those almost daily chores again, like I was mentioning with Pokemon Go. And, it also happened just at the beginning of July, and I'm one of those people where the start of the month I catch all the fish and I catch all the bugs to give in and just get it knocked out of the way. So the first 2 days of July were very, very busy doing that. There's a lot of bugs and a lot, in July especially. Managed to get them all. And then July 3rd, boom, here's the update. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I then had to spend all of the third or the fourth, catching all the sea creatures that I could, all 24 that are available right now. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm just adding to it. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy the deep sea diving. I like swimming. I like the wetsuits. That's really cool. Kind of wish that you didn't have to have it on to swim, but it is what it is.
But it's the only thing you have to have on.
That's the only thing.
You can keep your shoes on. You don't have to have a mask.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
I did find out today too, because they didn't actually state this, but I had CJ today, and I went to try and get the giant clam as a model, as a little statue, and you can't. CJ, as of now, does not recognize any deep sea creature for those statues. So if that's something you're like, oh, I really want a clam or a crab or something like that, you can't do it right now, unfortunately. So just hold on to them, throw them in storage. I hope they add that in later on, but as of now, CJ does not take them.
Yeah.
I've got a couple mermaid stuff. I've caught, I think, 9 pearls just diving, trying to get all the fish, and it's just been a lot of fun. I haven't seen Gulliver. I haven't seen Gulliver in like probably a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's ever since Leaf came in. I have never seen Gulliver since, and that annoys me. I miss seeing Gulliver.
Yeah.
But no, I'm enjoying it. It got me back playing the game at least for a couple days, and now it's more to the daily things because I try to get Pascal every day, at least until I have the full mermaid set. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, remember deep sea fishing? Yeah, it was fun, right? Well, until the next month rolls around, and I have to catch the new ones.
Right.
And as for the NES and SNES news, which is breaking as of this moment, it took too long.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping they were holding off on DKC for maybe like a Donkey Kong collection on the Switch with all the DK games, and I was like, that's got to be the reason they haven't put that there. Why haven't? Nope. That idea is now shot. So I don't see a DKC collection coming anymore. And it's weird, only 3 games this time, and I forget when the last update was, but it seems like we're getting less and less.
April, I think.
Wow, April.
May,
okay,
maybe. One or the other. Like
so
we got one in February, and then it was either April or May, so this is the 3rd update this year.
That's every other month.
Yeah.
Every other month. We used to get, what was it, like every
month
was it? Yeah, every month we got like 4 games.
It was like 2 NES games for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is not even 2 NES games, and I know they haven't drained their NES library. Hell, they could have put a DK NES game. I'm sure there's one they haven't put on the service yet. But now, this seems like such an afterthought. And I understand, like, with third-party games, they need the rights, they need the license and all that. But, come on, put more of your own games on there if you want. I mean, come on. You don't need the license and the rights to use your own games.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all that. I'm excited to. I mean, I have Donkey Kong Country. I don't even know how many times I own that game on different services, but it's always cool to just have with you, especially on a handheld, because I had the Game Boy games, but it's cool to actually have the real Donkey Kong Country to play on Switch. So that's exciting. But yeah, I've played Animal Crossing so much. CJ finally came back for me too, and it had been in like a month, and I've been saving up all these giant fish in my front yard, and like I was running out of space, and finally, like, I made over 1 million bells, like finally cashing them all in. It was awesome. That's actually how I got over halfway to paying off my final loan, was through all those fish. But yeah, it's been cool just to swim around and have some fun with that. I really like I don't mind that you have to wear a wetsuit because it makes sense, I guess, but I love that you can wear it over your clothes, that you don't have to completely change out your wardrobe to go in the water, because that would be really, really annoying every time if I had to change out all of my clothes every time.
I just wear my wetsuit.
All the time? Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I like the Nook one, the black and green one. I just wear it all the time. Yeah.
I use like the leaf one. I got the green leaf one with the Nook mask.
Yep.
And just run around with it.
Yeah, pretty much just wear it all the time.
Just don't go to Able Sisters because you can't use the changing room.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't?
No, she says you can't wear your wetsuit.
Take off your wetsuit, so you
Yeah.
can't go there with the full...
See, this is Nintendo taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. Come on!
It kind of makes sense, because like when you go in there, it uses that exact... But you don't have to, like... I think that's the big thing, is like they want to just put that same exact, character, or avatar or whatever on the screen and be able to, swap out clothes and everything. But you could take the wetsuit off, just do it automatically for us when you're in the changing room.
I mean, come on. This is a game where you owe money to a raccoon. Making sense should already be out the window.
Here's the thing. Have you ever tried going into that same changing room when you're in construction mode?
No,
It takes the hat off for you. Why don't you take the wetsuit off for me?
Because it's Nintendo.
So
why can't we buy more than one outfit at a time in the clothing store?
So true. So true.
Why can't we craft more than one fish bait at a time?
Yeah.
See, I would be fine leaving all those things as is, to be honest with you, as long as they made one change. One change, and I think the game would be perfectly fine, even though those other things are annoyances. Make it so that you can't pick up anything on your island unless you're in constructor mode. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to pick up a freaking like stick or an item, a present that fell, and I wound up picking up the bench that it fell next to. Oh, I don't want to do that. I gotta reassign it. Like, just make it so we can't touch that stuff unless in constructor. Or God help you,
or
if you put down any ground patterns, like a cobblestone walkway or whatever, and like something falls on it, and you push Y just a little off of that item, and you kick off your custom panel. Now hold on, I gotta bring up my hat now. It's just a pain in the butt. Like, make it so you can't touch that stuff unless you're in constructor mode. Like, it's such a simple thing.
The other day I actually picked up something that was beyond what I was actually standing like next to. I was like, it was just like a stick or a weed or something like that I intended to pick up, and it ended up grabbing like one of the fish that I had stored in my front yard instead. I'm like, what? That was further away. Why did you default to pick that up instead? It makes no sense. But oh well. The good thing is it's that they're updating more. I love the fact that we can go in the water. We talked about that several times, how we wanted that to happen. All the extra stuff that you can add to the museum is really cool. I was wondering, I was like, how are they going to actually put all this into play? And then you were able to build that giant aquarium at the back, and that was really cool. I'm hoping that the August update brings back the minigame island. That's what I really want. But
yes.
That'd be fantastic, because it'd be so cool just to go. Like, I love that there's so much more multiplayer stuff and online everything, but I want to be able to play some games together and do some fun stuff like that together.
I would laugh so hard if they added like a mini game island that you can go to, and they make it the GBA island from the original. Like they model it after that, and you go there and there's like a fossil on the ground, and you dig it up, and it's like an old sandy-filled NES with the Legend of Zelda going, "Hi, we finally decided to give it to you, but it's been covered in sand, so now it doesn't work. It's been so long," you know.
That'd be great. All right. Well, there's some other stuff to talk about with this update in terms of news, but I say we give a couple more giveaways.
Do another giveaway.
People have been wondering. They've been wondering. They've been chomping at the bit. Here we go. Another number. The number is 8.
8? Oh boy, we're going
right up the top.
Hold on. Right near the top. Let me scroll up here. Number 8. Number 8 is Mel at Mel Needs a Name.
All right.
That's them. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Is that a game or an eShop?
Another game code.
Another game code. Cool.
Next one will be our first eShop.
Ooh, next one.
We'll do a pattern here.
All right. Well, let's quickly talk about this update with Animal Crossing. Greg, tell us a little more about this, because apparently this last update seems to make scamming the game a little bit easier. And I know you've done a little research on this, so tell us a little about what's going on here. Nintendo Everything had an article and stuff about it as well, but what's this all about?
Yeah, so ever since the introduction of the diving mechanic and putting on a wetsuit, it was kind of popular for like turnips places like to fence off like the store, so then like you had very limited access to the island. But now with the jumpsuit, you could jump off the pier and then you can go swimming around and bypass the island, and then people can wreak havoc, like pick your flowers, pick up stuff that you have like lying around or whatever. So like people can technically get scammed because like you have these random people coming to your island to sell turnips, but then they're also going through and can do damage to your island that obviously you probably don't want. So so that's kind of like an introduction with the wetsuit, is you can bypass the fencing by just jumping into the water. So
that's unfortunate. That's why I don't allow anybody to my island. That's true. I have never opened my gates to my island at all yet.
And I guess you could technically fence off like the entire water, but then that makes a lot more fencing to put up, and especially if you don't have room right along some of the path, it's tons of extra fencing to add in, when it was probably more convenient just to lock off like a small part by the airport. So.
Yeah, I think the only fencing that I've done is fully surrounded it within the island. I've not done any fencing like that. Barry, is this going to affect your game? I can't remember if you have anything like that or not.
I do not have any type of fencing or anything like that to prevent people. I could put it up. I've only opened my island I think once, when I actually had a high turnip value. I still need the last stamp for the 10 million from turnips. I'm close, but honestly I haven't even bothered buying turnips because I have a full 1600 inventory. My house is filled with DIYs because I can't keep them outside because that hurts my rating. So
I picked up all I can.
That's so stupid. And then on top of that, I've got a bunch of the sea creatures, because I'm in full. I have a bunch of tanks all outside, hoping to make statues from CJ, and then just to have that all dashed. So now I'm like, oh great, what do I do with all these? So yeah, I think it sucks that people can look at something positive like, here's an update, all this new content, and find ways to exploit it, especially when it's griefing. It's one thing like, oh, I found an item duplication glitch, this will help people enjoy the game more. Fine, you can choose to do that or not.
Right.
But when you're doing something that actually causes griefing on another player and hurts their enjoyment of the game, that's just not cool. Like, come on. Like, we're all playing this game, we're all enjoying and relaxing, and what's the purpose of griefing some random stranger? Like, if that's how you get your jollies, there's a lot of other outlets you should be doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, which is, it's really unfortunate. I don't know if there's even going to be a way to fix any of that, like I mean, I guess Nintendo could find a way, but I guess right now it's just, if you have an island set up like that, then don't invite anybody over, especially just randomly, because if you do invite them with the dodo code, right, like they can't pick up anything like that, right? Like it's only if you actually open your gates. Am I getting that correct?
I don't know. I haven't really invited anyone over to my island. It's been very limited visit for me.
I think the dodo code prevents them from doing a lot of harm, but still.
Yeah. Well, be careful out there, guys. Be careful. You don't want all your stuff stolen. Like that would be awful. Is if someone came by and took all the fish that I had stored out in my front yard.
They can't touch that stuff. I don't think even best friends can touch that stuff.
Oh, okay.
It counts as a furniture. Like even if like I came to your island as a best friend, I couldn't touch your benches. I couldn't just demolish your stuff.
Okay.
I think it's only like I could pick fruit. I can chop down trees. I could dig up flowers. But I can remove custom patterns. That'd be the most damaging thing. So if you ever go to someone's island, don't just randomly push Y, because if you're best friend, like you could ruin their day.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We got lots of giveaways tonight. What do you think? Should we do another one?
Well, yeah, fine.
Let's do another one. This is for an eShop code, right?
eShop code.
eShop code. Ooh, all right, here we go. The number generator's going, number 43.
43. 43 is Rachel at Rocky Gazelle.
Rocky Gazelle. Congratulations on that eShop code. Congratulations.
Yep.
Awesome. Jesus has said that if he doesn't win, he's going to say goodbye to those Mega Man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Let's move on. And last episode, we talked about all those Pokemon updates. Pokemon Smile, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon... I don't know, whatever else they released last time.
Pokemon Smile was Pokemon... No, there was more. There were
like 4 or 5.
Game, the cafe.
Right. And still no news about Pokemon Sleep. But we had another update. On June 24th, there was like another, more news. And we thought maybe we'll get Pokemon Sleep stuff. No, we got news on Pokemon Unite, which is Pokemon's journey into the MOBA genre. Basically it's going to be it's a strategic team battle game being developed with the Pokemon Company and Tencent Games, TMI Studios. It's like I said, essentially it's a cross-platform game though, so you can play on your Switch or you can play on your mobile device, and you'll actually 5-on-5 team battles, free to start kind of game, and so you'll be able to battle each other, and we're not really sure like what else you'll be able to add to. I'm sure you'll have to pay for something along the way, probably different characters or different costumes and stuff like that. That's usually how those kind of games will make all their money. But there's been a little bit of controversy around this game, a little bit, I guess, because some people absolutely hated it. They hated the news. Like, it's the internet. Like some things don't make people happy, and they decide to lash out. So I believe this has the most unlikes or dislikes on YouTube ever or something. Now it's kind of ridiculous how people just lashed out against this free game, because I think they expected something else. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this game. What do you guys think, Barry? What do you think about Pokemon Unite?
There's a lot of people that are unhappy about this, and I think they only have themselves to blame. They started reading way too into the previous Pokemon Presents, looking at the plushies in the background and getting hyped for some kind of remakes. And in reality, they just did it to themselves. Would it have been nice? Sure. But the truth is, this game isn't made for you. This game is made for the Asian markets. Plain and simple. These type of games, the MOBAs, They're huge overseas. League of Legends is ginormous. And so they got Tencent, who makes League of Legends, I believe, to make a Pokemon version, which is smart. Hey, you know what? If you're going to make a type of game, get the developer of the most popular one to make a game for you. Cool. So in Asian markets, this is going to do gangbusters. They didn't have to release this here. In fact, if they showed off that same trailer but said it was only coming to Asian markets, people would be complaining, why isn't this coming here? So it's a prime example of why you can't please everybody. I think when people play it, they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it or they're going to feel indifference, and that's fine. It's going to do well overseas, which is exactly where it's supposed to do. And if it does well over here, then that's icing on the cake. But this, if you expected a new generation, we're still getting Pokemon DLC for Sword and Shield. Let's Go, Gold and Silver seemed likely, like, it's every other year maybe, and that could still be coming. I mean, that could be coming in a new Nintendo Direct, or that could be coming in a new Pokemon Presents, and they want to space it out. And clearly, they don't mind doing multiple presentations. They did one, a week apart. But I'm excited for it. I played Arena of Valor, and I liked that on the Switch. It was something I just didn't keep up with, mainly because you had those matches with those really good people, and it was a lot of fun. And then you had those matches where everyone just got steamrolled, and you're looking at your team like, great guys, thanks. But I think with friends and an actual team and just playing that way, I think this could be a lot of fun. Granted, Nintendo lets us actually play with our friends, because we know how Nintendo likes to do their online.
Oh, that'd be awful. That'd be so bad, so bad. Yeah, I've tried to get into some of those other games, and the problem is that I always get in way too late. And by the time I get in, everybody's so much better than I am, and it's ridiculous. So I end up giving up and stopping. But this, I think, will be one of those games that I'll try to jump on board early, and I really hope we can play with friends, because that's where I think I'll see the most enjoyment out of it, is gathering with you guys or some other people from our Discord or something like that, and say, hey, let's go on there and try a few battles together. Greg, are you excited about Pokémon Unite? Is this something that could get you excited?
No, I don't usually play those kinds of games. That's probably why this kind of whole thing just kind of flew over. I mean, I did read through it and saw what Barry already explained about it, but it's not something I'm terribly interested in, and probably won't even bother to download it and try it out.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is that, it'd be available for mobile and Switch, so, you can play it on either. I'll probably play it more on Switch, but it is nice to know that when I'm on the go and away from a Wi-Fi signal or something like that I could play it on my phone or my iPad or something. The important thing I want to know, they haven't really said it yet, at least what I've read, is if it's not only cross-platform, but is it cross-transferable? Like, can you take your save data or whatever? Is it stored on a server? And how Nintendo servers are awesome, but can we actually take that same account and play it on my mobile device? Yes,
that's the key.
Yeah,
because a lot of times I won't have my Switch with me, but I will always have my phone. And that's one of the reasons why I played Dragalia Lost and Mario Kart as much as I do, is just, it's those times when I'm not near console and I'm able to just sit and I'm able to just casually play, or even just waiting. Sometimes going to someone's island. Okay, I'm going to sit here and wait, okay, I'm going to do something else, or downloading an update. So yeah, I do agree. If you can share, I think that'd be great, because then it's you can play both at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. That's something I'm really hoping that would happen actually with Psyonix and Rocket League. Is that because I own the game 3 different times on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, and I would love for all my stuff to come together. Now it really doesn't matter that much, but yeah, I do have some progress. I play more on Switch. It'd be nice to be able to have that same account on my Xbox when I play on the main TV. But yeah. Let's see. That's all about Pokemon Unite. let's talk about this other quick announcement right before we give another giveaway. And this might excite Barry, especially for our big physical collector here. That apparently there's a little rumor that Untitled Goose Game, Honk, might be getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch. Barry, is this exciting for you?
Absolutely. I it's one of those games where I wanted to play it. It looks great. I've heard great things, but unless I get a code or it's under $1 part of the challenge, I'm not downloading the game. So it's one of those where if I can have this on my shelf, I am all for it. And not only will I be able to enjoy it, but I'll always be able to enjoy it. And that's just it. This is one of those games that's so unique. It deserves a physical treatment. It deserves to be preserved. And I'm very much hoping this is real.
Yeah, it looks like Nintendo Life wrote about this. It looks like it popped up recently on I believe on Amazon Germany, of all places, and going to be put out by Skybound Games. And September 22nd is the release date listed for right now, and that's 35.99 euros, I believe, is if I get that correct.
That's $40 probably.
Probably, yeah, approximately $35, $36, $40. Is that about the same price as the game in digital, or is it a little cheaper than that? I feel like it's a little cheaper.
It might be a little cheaper, but we also don't know if this is going to have like some kind of download. Like a lot of digital games start off, and then by the time they get a physical release, there's like some kind of update or some kind of like expansion, and the physical will get all of that. Like Cuphead still doesn't have a physical on Switch, and they stated they wanted to wait for all the content to come out so it's all on card. Same reason why Shovel Knight, which launched with the Switch, didn't get a physical until year 3, I believe, with Treasure Trove, where all the content's on the card. Because this way you're getting the full pack. You're getting that full physical package, which is great. That
makes sense, for sure.
Jared says digital was 20.
It was 20, okay. And there may be a little bit sometimes, through, especially with indie games, Barry, you'd be able to tell me more because you deal with this all the time, but sometimes there is that a little bit of an extra, people call it Switch tax or whatever, with a physical release, just to cover the excess expense, right, to put it on a cartridge. So
yes,
that might be a little bit of that too.
Yeah, a physical release will be a little more expensive than a digital. Usually, it's usually about $10 more, give or take, whatever the digital is, to cover not only to cover the physical, but sometimes it's from a different publisher, because a lot of these digital games are self-published. The developer makes it and just gets it out there sometimes by themselves. And like in this case, it might have been, I don't know who developed Untitled Goose Game, but Skybound might have said, hey, we're going to put it out physically. Skybound needs a cut for them to do that, because it is costly to do it. And, it's going to cost them money to print all those carts and the paper, and even just to get the ESRB on there, or the PEGI on there, they're going to have to pay for that. So it's one of those things where that's where you eat it. But the positive is you have it forever, no matter what. The C shop can go down, your Switch can break. You can give it to a friend. You can let them play it. You have it. And especially when it comes with all the bonus content. Hollow Knight is another example. Hollow Knight was a great digital title, but if you buy it physically, you get all 4 DLCs on the card. And that's great because you have the full experience, the whole game, all at once. So that's common practice, and I think that's $40. I don't know what that costs, but like for all the DLC and all that, like, that's a good deal. So we don't know. They could announce, hey, we were going to announce it at E3. Now we're announcing a little later. There's an expansion to Untitled Goose Game because I heard it was kind of short, and maybe there's like a couple new levels, and all that's going to be included on the physical. They've done that before. Nintendo did that before with Snipper Clips.
All right.
They launched it digital only, and then they added a bunch of new content, and now we're making it physical with all that new content as well.
That's true.
So.
Jakester said he would buy. It looks like someone else was saying, Basement Dweller would definitely get Untitled Goose Game on physical, even though he has it digital. Greg, I know you've been playing it on digital. Is that would you buy it again on physical, or any thoughts around the physical release of this game?
Well, I'm happy to be getting a physical release for people like Barry, so then he can enjoy such a awesome game. So that's always good news for me. But I mean, I don't usually like double dipping, so since I already have the game, I don't see the need to get the cartridge for it. I mean, I don't anticipate ever getting rid of the game. My daughter still likes to load it up from time to time just to mess around, and I've never really mentioned it because it only usually lasts like 5 minutes. But it's like, oh, I want to like steal the farmer's hat again. It's like, okay, and like have it on for like 5 minutes. It's not even really worth pointing out every time we do it. So
yeah, it's a fun game, and I hope they do continue to support that. Just kind of like the Goat Simulator, like it's kind of a similar style of game, and it's just kind of crazy and goofy and hilarious. So I hope they do continue to support it, and yeah, like you said, Barry, it'd be great if the physical release does have all those modes, you know, at least the ones available at the time, combined in there, and maybe wait till, you know, new Super Goose Game Plus 64 to you know, release the sequel or something. But
it's funny you mentioned Goat Simulator. That has a physical on the Switch, but not in America. It's a European only, but it's the Goaty edition with all the contents on it.
Nice. Because yeah, you first said, I was like, really? I've never seen that, but that's why.
Yeah.
Not here in America.
It's in English, but Europe it plays on the Switch.
That's true.
But we didn't get it here.
Nice. We're going to be talking a little bit about Breath of the Wild 2 in just a second, but I think it's time for another giveaway.
Let's do another
another giveaway. So
another game code.
Another game code. Barry, this is number 16.
16. All right. 16 is Conk at Mobwig.
Ooh, okay. Let's spell that just to make sure. Is it MOBWIG?
MOBWIG.
All right.
Is the Twitter handle, and the name on the Twitter handle is Conk, CONK.
All right. Congratulations. And that was for a game code?
Game code.
All
yes.
right. Congratulations. Like we said, for all these, make sure that you are, of course, following us. And as soon as we get done with the podcast tonight, we'll follow you guys all in return and just DM us for that code, and we'll get that to you.
We'll be doing more of these giveaways too. So if you don't win tonight, there will be more.
That's right, Asus. You don't have to go steal Barry's Mega Man. All right. Let's talk about Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, because there's a lot of, you know, speculation around this game. We know so little about this game, and with all the updates around COVID stuff and everything being delayed and everything, there's so much that we're like, oh man, is this gonna even come out anytime soon at all? But lo and behold, Game Reactor has this article that the voice track recording is basically complete. So the Spanish voice actors were on a Spanish podcast, and they basically said that they're essentially almost done with the voice recordings for Breath of the Wild 2. Specifically, what they quoted in there is that something happened with the second part, and then it kind of trailed off. Well, I don't know if we can say it, we've dubbed it out yet or not. And then they just said it's unknown. But essentially, you know, he started talking about the second part, and like, okay, well, if it's not all of it, a lot of this game has been recorded already, at least for the Spanish recording. Jared's wondering, like, was this proven inaccurate? I'm not really sure, but what do you guys think about this? Have you heard about this, and what do you think? And I wanted to talk about the story only to kind of also turn us into to talk about Breath of the Wild 2, because we don't know really a whole lot about this. So, Greg, what do you think about the story, and are we actually, is this news that we're possibly actually getting Breath of the Wild 2, or do you think it's still way out in the future?
I still think it's actually out in the future. When I was clicking on the link, they already updated the article to say like their quotes were taken out of context, and there was like they issued like a formal apology and everything. So I don't think that the voice tracks are in a completed state. So I still think it's going to be, unfortunately, a long time before we hear more about Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know if we'll get anything this year, but it easily is not as close as the other media sites are claiming it's going to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw that update, and I thought, you know what? That's exactly what they would say if they got caught and saying something they weren't supposed to say. They're like, "Oh no, that's totally taken out of context." Now, like, and that this is a statement that we're requiring you to issue if you actually want to keep that podcast up. If not, we're going to require that you take it down. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Barry?
I originally predicted Breath of the Wild 2 would come out this year. That was back in January. That was before all the COVID stuff. Now it's a lot up in the air. I think that if they have fully recorded, they wouldn't be allowed to say anything. There's an NDA for sure on any of this stuff, and a lot of them might not even know what they were recording. One of my latest industry talks, which you can see on NintendoFuse.com and on our YouTube, Greg and I got to sit down and talk with Amelia Gotham, who is Mifia, and she said that she has not recorded anything or heard anything about the second game, which under an NDA most likely can't say anything. But even when recording the first game, they didn't know what they were going in for. They went in for, here's what we're doing, and they just started recording for a project and didn't find out until later that it was Zelda. So the returning actors, if Patricia Somerset's coming back, I'm sure she'll know she's Zelda again. But, for any new actor, they might not even know what they're recording for. And a lot of people, like Amelia's not a gamer. She's never played Zelda. Mm-hmm. So she had no idea what she was doing. She didn't recognize anything at all. And a lot of people might not be. It's a different career path. So there's a good chance that some of it's been recorded. I think a lot of it's been recorded. I know COVID slowed things down, for sure. But they probably don't even know what they're doing. I mean, a lot of movies, a lot of games come out with code names to disguise this. Because even with NDAs, someone can slip. I mean, just look at Tom Holland. So, I mean, that's the whole point. I think that a lot of people who are recording don't even know unless they're coming back. Yeah. And even those coming back are not. They know the spiel. They know they're not allowed to say anything. So I hope like Amelia's back. I hope we see Miffa again, even in a flashback. But she wasn't allowed to say anything at all. And played, I don't know. So right. I'm sure if you asked Patricia Somerset, she'd probably say the same thing. I would love to do the sequel. Tell them to call me. Something like that. Can't say anything.
It's true. And that's, I think, the only thing that makes me really believe that if this was in isolation, I would totally stand by what I said just a second ago, just about like, that sounds like that PR speak, like you're going to have to say this because you have to cover up for yourself or something like that. But Amelia seemed really genuine when she said, yeah, I'd love to do that. They need to call me. So I don't know. I tend to believe her, like, just like she seemed really genuine. So I don't know. I think a lot of stuff is set back, but here's the thing. Like, I think even if they recorded it, like, I don't know exactly how games do it nowadays, but I'm like, I think some of the recording can happen before the animation's done. I think some of the animation's done before it. But if it's dubbing over, I mean, like, that means that probably the Japanese is already done. Like, I don't know. So they could be in a number of different places with this game, I think, even if all the voice acting has already been recorded. Like, if there's not that much voice acting, like, or if it's all in certain spots and cutscenes, well, good, they got the cutscenes done, but the rest of the game may not even be close to being done yet. So I don't know if this actually says, it's right around the corner. In fact, it's probably not because of all the other setbacks due to COVID. So
yep.
But we'll see, I guess. Only time will tell if these guys are actually, the recording, the done recording it. If it comes out, I'm thinking we're probably looking at least at 2021 at this point, for sure. All right, we got a little bit of news about Nintendo's next console. Yep, that's right. I said next console because of the shareholders' information. But before we do that, Barry, how about we do another giveaway?
I like that idea. I think we
right.
should do another giveaway.
I think we so too, and Jesus is just really hoping for his number to come up. So let's see what number comes up this time. It is, I think we've actually did this number already. Maybe if so,
What is
Google
it?
just repeated. Is it 47? Have we done 47 already?
We did not. We did 49.
Oh, 49. All right, so
49.
we have 40, 47, 49, and 51. Google is doing
Wow.
some crazy stuff with all the numbers being right next to each other.
So 47. This is for another game code. This is the fourth one. Yeah, Lulio. At Lulio. Really, at Lulio 364328331.
Nice. Congratulations, Lulio. String of numbers. Say that one more time just to make sure that Lulio actually, just in case we had a different Lulio that, entered as well.
It was at Lulio 364328331.
All right.
You're probably laughing like I made them read all those numbers.
Nice. All right. Well, let's move into this information about Nintendo's next console. We talked about the 80th annual general shareholders meeting that happened a while back, but Screen Rant actually had a little bit of information where the executives actually did talk about how the next console for Nintendo would most likely stick with the hybrid design. And I know we've talked a lot about that here on the podcast. A lot of people have speculated about would there be a Switch 2, a Switch Pro? Would they go with a different design altogether? And it seems like that the executives are heading in that direction for sticking with that hybrid design. I don't blame them. That seems like a no-brainer for me. But now that we're a little further along, I mean, we keep coming back to this every once in a while, right? We speculate a little bit about, like, is there going to be a Switch 2? Is there going to be a Switch Pro? That sort of thing. At least it seems like now we have confirmation they're headed in the same direction. They're not completely changing it up like they did with the Wii, like they did with the Wii U, like they did with switching over to the Switch. It's heading in the same direction. So possibly a similar direction of NES, SNES, 64, GameCube sort of direction. We're sticking with that traditional home console. So this is times they're sticking with that hybrid design, which seems to be going well for them. But Greg, what do you think? Are they going to go with an updated version? They're going to go with a completely brand new console? What do you think is going to happen this next time?
I'm kind of leaning more towards the brand new console. I mean, I think they learned their lessons trying to keep the Wii to the Wii U, like trying to keep that namesake and keep the familiarity and everything similar. So I think it's just going to be something entirely different. And the jump might not be as big as everyone would think, but I'm thinking that they'll still have some partial jump, and it could be that we're still using cartridges, and instead of Joy-Cons there'll be something else. I mean, it makes sense to me that they would go kind of a different way. I mean, I would hope that stuff is still compatible, but seeing as they're kind of dropping off that now, it's kind of unfortunate. So
yeah. Dave says they're probably drafting its successor as we speak. They started the Wii U development back in 2008, along with Pikmin 3. Basement Dweller says that he doesn't think Nintendo can go back from the hybrid design after the Switch. Jesus is saying Switch Pro, and you got to switch this year. That's usually how it goes, right? Like, as soon as you buy one, that's like, oh man, now they're gonna come out with a new one. That's what happened with my Apple Watch. I got a replacement. I had to buy a replacement for Series 3, and usually it's a year between them. No, they decided to make that Series 4 one after like 9 months or whatever it was, and 3 weeks after I got my replacement one, they came out with the new one. It was like barely out of the return window. So that may happen. I mean, Probably not going to happen. There's probably very little chance that we're actually going to get whatever the next successor is coming this year, especially with all the COVID stuff. But Barry, I know you've got a lot of thoughts, pretty strong thoughts around what they're going to do. Any changes based on what's been going on lately in our world?
I mean, I can't predict anything that they're going to do, but the one thing I think is a safe assumption is Nintendo finds a pattern or a formula that works, and they stick with it. I mean, they did the DS to the 3DS was case in point. The DS was their most successful console ever. The Wii to the Wii U. It's just how they operate. The Game Boy to the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advance. I mean, it's just they just keep with what works until something new and innovative. And Nintendo likes to innovate. They do not, for a company that people say they keep releasing the same game over and over, they like to not release games that we want over and over and instead wait to throw in some kind of weird gimmick that some people love and some people hate. Like, just give us another F-Zero already. I don't need it to be innovative. I just want more tracks. I'll be happy.
Hey, Jakester just wants Earthbound, a game they already have. So
definitely just wants Earthbound. But I think it's a safe assumption that it's going to be some kind of hybrid and it's going to be more powerful. And this is probably going to be the Nintendo from now on. What I'd like to see is definitely a more powerful system. I mean, that goes without saying. More powerful in handheld, and I'd like to see a truly more powerful dock. Like, I know, like, it upscales the visuals and in the frame rate in docked because it's going to your TV. It's not using that small screen, and I get that. But I mean a really beefy dock, like not something that's just a cord. Like, the dock has power too, and it can run off that power.
Yeah.
So you can have like the portable be like a PS4 Pro. That would be amazing. And then when you plug it in, it's like a PS5. I think everyone would be super excited about that. Like, oh man, that'd be fantastic. That would be so much easier to port things.
Sure.
It'd be like, oh yeah, we could port a PS4 version, upscale it to PS5, or we could do a PS5 version and downscale it to a PS4. And I think that's the key. The real key. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things for Nintendo how much power it has, because Nintendo is famous for utilizing their machines to the best of their ability, churning out some amazing games that really capitalize what a system can do and can somehow fit a monumental, huge game on the tiniest of cards when companies like 2K can't fit their games on a tiny card either. They're like, oh no, here's like 4 bytes of it and you have to download the rest. That's not the problem. The problem is third-party porting. And you want, as a game company, as a system company, you want to make your system as port friendly as possible to get the most amount of games that you can get on your systems, the most amount of multi-platform games, because that will bring in new players. That's what happened with the Saturn. One of the reasons it was hard to develop for. The PS3 utilized a brand new architecture, and it was notoriously difficult to develop for. And those that knew how to program for the PS3 made their games look great. Sony made their games look great. But a lot of games instead were developed for the 360 and then hastily ported to the PS3, and they suffered. That's what you want to avoid. That's why companies like Panic Button have been amazing for the Switch, because they've come in, they figured out how to port these games over. But Panic Button's one studio. And a company really has to sit and say, the Switch is selling like hotcakes, but is it worth us diverting resources to reprogram the game entirely for the Switch? And sometimes, yes, it is worth it. And other times, it's just not worth it for, the game's going to come out later in life, and it's not going to be as good. And Nintendo got lucky with the Wii because they did that for the Wii. But they didn't do that for the Wii because the Wii was selling like gangbusters. Maybe a few games, but the majority of Wii multi-platforms were even existed because the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation Portable existed, and a developer said we could divert those resources to make a Wii version, and then to subsidize it, we could also release it on PS2 and we could release it on PSP and recoup the cost because they were all very similar architecture. And that's the thing. There's nothing else like the Switch. So, we just got Burnout Paradise. Well, that's great, but that's an old game. Yeah. We just got those 2K games. Well, they're great. That's an old game. Why? Like, Doom Eternal is now slowly coming out. Why is Doom Eternal coming out so much later than the March? Because they had to bring Panic Button and they had to program it, and it took extra time and extra resources. Whereas if it was port friendly, we would have had Doom Eternal the same day as Animal Crossing on the Switch.
Yeah.
And right now, if you really wanted to play Doom Eternal, and oh my God, I have to play it, like I'm a super Doom fan, you probably have a PS4 or an Xbox One, and you probably started playing it in March 20th, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might double dip on the Switch, but the majority of Doom hardcore players already played beat Eternal.
Sure.
They weren't like, I'm going to wait, half a year for the Switch version. The people who are going to pick up the Switch version are those that don't have those other systems, or maybe just want to play it portably. And that's a smaller margin.
Especially right now, because less people are on the go.
Very true. Right now, that's actually a big thing. Less people on the go. So yeah, I do hope the Switch 2, or whatever they want to call it, it really has to step up the power.
Yeah.
But it also, I don't think they can get away from the portable. They own the portable market at this point. I mean, there's the Evercade out, which is fantastic, but it's not going to touch the market share. And Sony's dropped out of the ring. Mm-hmm. So they have it uncontested. Nintendo's not going to let that market go.
Yeah, for sure. The chat room's basically saying the same thing with you guys. Like, would love to have more power, especially in docked play. You said like it'd be great to have a PS4 Pro quality in handheld. Heck, I would be fine with 1080p at this point. Like, because I mean, it's not that big of a screen. So like, if it's a crisp 1080p with HDR, like that's great. And then all of a sudden, you plug it in and be able to get like at least 4K HDR out of that, and I think like you said as well, that portability is the huge thing. Not with the console, the game is portability because it's portable, but portable with other games, like you were talking about, is so important. And I think we've talked to a lot of developers and heard from them and said that the Switch is one of the easier games to develop for. But it's still not easy to necessarily port games over to. And the easier they make that, the more games that we can have, the more third-party games. And it's only going to be better for them, right? I mean, like, why would they not put all this effort into making sure it's a powerful console, but also a console that developers will want to develop for? And that only generates more and more income, more and more eyeballs, more wallets opening up and everything, better and better for them.
There's a reason for that. And the reason for that comes down to price. Nintendo, historically, has only once ever sold a console at a loss. And that was the 3DS after they dropped the price. And they had to. It was just too expensive. The Nintendo, even though they're a software company and they make a ton of money on their own stuff, they also make money on every single other game sold on the Switch or any of their consoles, but they don't sell a console at loss. That's how they help turn a profit. So if you buy a Switch right now, they are making profit. Unlike companies like Microsoft and Sony, who will sell at a loss, and they have in the past. If Nintendo were to make a PS4 Pro handheld, they would have to sell it bare minimum $400. Now, if the dock had more power to be a PS5, you're looking at maybe $600 for this thing, and most likely at a loss.
That's true. But
and if they do $600, like people are talking about the PS5 being like $600 or more, and that's almost dead on arrival.
Right.
Look at the PS3 launched at that price, and it was dead on arrival. That's not consumer friendly. Right. And people look at Nintendo and they're used to consumer friendly, especially lately. The Wii was super cheap compared. The Wii U was $300. The Switch is $300. They haven't gone above that $300 mark, unless like it's a bundle, like $349 with 2 games or something like that. But otherwise, the base console's never broken that $300 mark. And if it goes higher than that, there's a potential to spook people. Now, some people will be smart and be like, oh, this is really 2 consoles. But at the same time, they'll be like, why don't I just stick with my Switch? It's half the price, and it's also 2 consoles in that sense. And it's backwards compatible. There's a ton of games I didn't play on my Switch yet. Why should I upgrade? I'll wait until it comes down.
Until the next Animal Crossing or the next Smash Brothers comes out, and then they'll be
And that depends on their launch line.
Right. The next Zelda. Breath of the Wild 2 is a Switch Pro exclusive. But I think I'm wondering too, because you guys have probably heard that all the potential controversy again, the internet going in an uproar about the next iPhone not including a power brick or earbuds in the box with it. And honestly, like, part of me goes, that's kind of crazy that they would do that. But another side of me goes, well, I guess it makes sense. We have tons of those things already. But what if, like, they were able to include a bundle, a discounted bundle for people that wanted that extra, but it's discounted for people that don't need it. And so that gets me thinking, like, what if the next Switch, or whatever they end up calling it, is kind of they also take a hybrid approach to even how you put the console together. Maybe it's I forget the word for it, but when you have different pieces you can add together to different things, module. So what if they actually take a module approach to it, that you can buy just the handheld version like a Switch Lite for X amount of dollars, but for an extra $150 or whatever it ends up being, you can buy this souped up dock that gets you to the PS5 quality, or you can buy the lesser dock for whatever and it gets you to PS4 quality, or something like that. Because I mean, people like Jakester or Jared in the chat are like, I don't honestly pay $600, and I think I probably would be kind of along those lines too. But what if they offered some lower options for those people that don't have that money or don't want to put that much money toward it?
That'd be great. They did the, Jakester also said it too. They did the new 3DS without a power supply, and that was a controversial thing. Like, wait, what the heck? You're selling the new 3DS at the same price that you sold the other 3DS, but without a power. Like, and it's true. I get it. Like, a modular thing would make sense. Like a Switch Pro that was the equivalent of a PS4 Pro, and they launched it, say $300, and they say, well, you can actually use this with your existing dock, and it just transfers it as is.
Yep.
But you could pay $200 extra and get a souped up dock, and now really power it up. I think that would be fine. And then if you want, you could do a combo, like make a $400 bundle where you get them both.
Totally.
You save a little money. Absolutely, different SKUs. I mean, Nintendo has done that. How they did it with the Wii U. They had the two different versions. 100%, I would be for it, and I think that would be smart.
Yeah, Dave's talking about the RAM expansion pack for the 64, though. Maybe they could offer that sort of thing again. Add this to your dock to soup it up.
Or since they're using cartridges now, go back to the Super Nintendo and put the Super FX chip in each individual cartridge.
There we go. Greg, any thoughts about around all this?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say they did do that with the Wii U, but obviously everyone knows that the white one, the cheaper model, ended up being a complete
that's true
failure. Like, no one wanted one because it was like, what, 10 gigabytes of space? Like,
8. It was like
ridiculous.
832.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a no-brainer that it didn't sell very well. So I mean, as long as it's hitting the right side and be able to not have like really less features like that, then that would be a smart way to approach it with the module design. But they can't just hang like storage space over your head. It really should be more of a thing like, oh, here's a dock A that does this, and dock B that is more enhanced and require like additional cables or something to go to 4K or whatever. So
but you can't make it confusing. You can't call it the Switch. You can call it Switch 2, but you can't call it the new Switch, because Lord help, the Wii U failed due to that. Let's not do that again.
Switch U.
Switch U.
All right.
Or you switch. You switch.
No, that'd make too much sense.
New Switch 2.
Yeah, Jared just wants the USB 3 to be unlocked. I hope that, like, I think there's some sort of again, like I said, heading down that hybrid design of the console itself. I think there's a hybrid model to be able to bring in module components and be able to take it the next step forward, maybe even a huge step forward, and actually even catch up with the competition. But then offer some less than options for people that don't want to spend that much money. I mean, that's one of the things that honestly that Sony and Microsoft don't really have, like, a whole lot. Like, they'll have, well, the Xbox, I guess. They're going to be a Series X and a Series S that is kind of a lesser than. it'd be next generation, but it'd be lesser than the X. So I think there's a little bit of a precedent there. But to be able to still offer that hybrid design with the different SKUs could be really, really good for them. But we'll see. Hopefully they're listening. I don't know, probably not, but sometimes we think they are because they put a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. All right, let's do another giveaway. Yeah, those were the days. You remember when Nintendo Directs used to happen all the time?
Yeah.
Hey, there might be one this month.
Rumors.
Let's do another giveaway. Let's give away an eShop.
eShop card.
eShop card. Here we go. All right. Number generator. Come on, Google. Hey, Google. Do it.
Hey, Google.
There we go.
What's the...
All right. We're doing down in the numbers to number 15.
15. All right. Well, 15. Of course. Wow, we had 16. 16 was conk. So 15. God. Mana Banana. And it's at Manaban. Oh, another one? 79262225. Really?
Nice. Mana Banana 75625.
No, it's just at Manaban 79262225. But the Twitter handle, it's Mana Banana is the name.
Nice. I had to turn off my Google Assistant because I triggered it and it started playing something. I have no idea what it is.
Oh no.
All right. Well, congratulations. You won an eShop card. I wasn't fully paying attention to that because I was trying to take care of my Google Assistant. But sorry if I turned on anybody else's phone or anything too.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. All right, let's move on. A couple quick things. One slightly bigger story, and then a couple smaller stories that we'll hit before we wrap up today and do a couple more giveaways. But Greg, tell us a little about Paper Mario, because it's almost out. I mean, it's July 17th, right? But there's still some different things. I mean, like, the devs say they wanted to offer new experiences and surprises, but fans aren't really responding too well to those things. So tell us a little about what's been reported here lately.
So Nintendo Everything had a couple of posts about the upcoming game, and I know Jigster wants me to put on my tinfoil hat because I did see on Discord he was calling me out. So it was, yeah. So the one piece is they kind of Game Informer had spoke to the producer Kansei Tanabe, and pretty much they went on to say they just wanted to like make new experiences and unexpected surprises. And I know everyone really wants it to return back to the glory days of the 1,000-Year-Old Door and like Super Paper Mario, like those classic games that are pretty much still hold the test of time even. So. And then I know a lot of people are unhappy that they're going through with that because they just seem to be chasing the gimmick thing and like, oh, now you have stickers, now you have playing cards, now it's battle rings, and so it's people just wanting for a simpler time. So they did like include information about like they wanted to have like memorable moments with Olivia and like other partners, and that kind of came along. Like they decided on the characters first, and then they kind of figured out a way to put them in. So like even like Bowser Jr., they weren't quite sure, like they wanted to have him there, and then like they had to figure out exactly what he would have to do, like be included. So that was the one article, and then pretty much the other one that they posted was like pretty much a full roundup of like new details about the game. So it's I guess Intelligent Systems dev had asked for a battle system in which the enemies can surround Mario and attack from all sides, and this got the team coming up with like the ring structure for the Origami King game. So pretty much it came to him one day in like the shower because he was thinking about a Rubik's Cube, so that was kind of random piece of a tidbit there. Most best things always come from the shower, you know that.
That's true.
So it pretty much inspired them to add vertical rotations and horizontal rotations, which led to the actual ring. The combat begins with the player having a set number of turns in the turning phase to optimize positioning. They've kind of talked about that a little bit, like the Nintendo themselves in their trailers. The goal is to line up the enemies in groups so you can attack efficiently. You can stomp numerous enemies in a row. Hammer deals more damage to groups. You can spend coins to purchase more time to think if you're running low on time. So that's kind of interesting way to use of the coins. Who knows what other kind of uses they have, because they seem to remove like other main uses of those things. The Toad friends can give you hints. If you blow it on your first attempt, you can still rearrange for the stragglers once like the turns have taken place. So you're not just locked in for that one for the entire battle. Let's see. Each of the 5 streamers encasing Peach's castle is guarded by a member of the Legion of Stationary. The team initially wanted to use the same basic battle system in these boss encounters, but since you fight these bosses one at a time, you didn't have anything to line up. So because of this, they put Mario in the center, and he has to create a route to the boss from the outside. The bosses are scattered throughout the world, and players can see the streamers far in the distance. The story isn't going to be chapter focused like these past few games. Thank Lord. I know a lot of people didn't like the world map approach and like feel like you were playing like Mario 3 and just like, oh, here's a new level and just go through it. So now it's not like it's a chapter. You can just go through it. Players can travel from each region to region seamlessly in an open world setup. There's huge maps to explore. Nintendo designed the game so that there will always be something in the player's field of vision to catch their attention. So that kind of sounds reminiscent of Breath of the Wild there. So it sounds like they drew some inspiration from that. My personal thing that wasn't in the article. Mario can drive a boot-shaped car around and pilot a boat. Mario will also be aboard an airship where he takes command of the ship's defenses to fire rockets. Lots of one-off activities and miscellaneous diversions in the game, side quests. Mario will encounter a host of toads who have been folded into different origami forms. Hitting them with a hammer reverts them back to the normal form, and several things can happen. They might return to Toad Town, restoring valuable resources to the location, like selling items or opening docks. The Toads may also join Mario in battle, watching from the sidelines and helping when asked and paid. You can also go fishing in this game, apparently. Olivia is a constant companion throughout the entire adventure. Other characters join in and will leave along the way. And the shuffling cast is a function of the story, so players aren't deciding which allies to bring along. So it just sounds like a play like Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, where like you're forced to use certain characters at certain times, and then you don't get to have the entire party to pick and choose throughout the adventure. You just get that for that segment of the story. So
nice.
And that was pretty much it with that. So it does sound like they haven't quite picked up the flaws from the previous 2 games, and I don't know. I'm probably still going to get it because I do love the story and the humor part of it, but the gameplay is definitely on a downhill decline since Super Paper Mario, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, they announced they released a new trailer I saw today, and they really just talked about the humor of the game. It seemed like what they talked about most. So like, you really build this game up to be funny. I really hope it is. Dave says that the battle system looks very tactical, same devs of Fire Emblem, so that makes sense. But yeah, Barry, I've never really been into the Paper Mario series, any of that stuff, so I don't have a whole lot to say about this game. But Barry, what do you think about where Paper Mario, the Origami King, seems to be going?
Not in the best direction, but also not in the worst. It's Nintendo. We're going to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's something you have to learn to accept at this point. If you want, N64 or GameCube Paper Mario, then the best thing to do is play them again. Like, I hate to say it, I want them to, but but it seems like I was saying earlier, like Nintendo has stated the reason we haven't had a new F-Zero since the GameCube or the GBA is because they haven't been able to innovate. They couldn't figure out something to innovate it. So they're not just going to give us a new F-Zero with just new tracks and be the same game but with new tracks, even though that's what we were asking Nintendo to do. So they skipped the Wii generation, they skipped the Wii U, and they're skipping the Switch, and we got F-Zero elements in Mario Kart 8, but no F-Zero. And that's just the kind of thing. If they didn't have this new innovative circular battle system and all that stuff, there wouldn't be a new Paper Mario. That's the reason they're making this.
Right.
It's, hey, we figured out this new thing, this new gimmick, now we can make a new Paper Mario. Even though people want what they had. People want what they're familiar with. People want what worked and what liked. They don't want to re-release or release the same type of game with a new story. They want something new, something they feel is fresh. And for some people, that works. And for other people, it doesn't. That's just Nintendo. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to try it. I'm hopefully going to like it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I have to keep my expectations low so that if I do enjoy it, I go, well, that worked out in my favor, versus, oh my god, this is going to be, 1,000-Year Door 2, and then go, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. This kind of sucks.
Yeah. It is interesting. I think, I wonder if it's one of those things with Western audience versus Eastern audience, like sort of thing, like Japanese, like part of me thinks, well, yeah, Nintendo they typically do change things up in a big way, from game to game, from system to system. A lot of times they love to change it up. Not all the time. I mean, you do have your Super Mario Brothers 2 to Super Mario Brothers 1 to 2. That's basically the same game, just more difficult, and different levels. But you have so many times where Nintendo has decided to completely change it up from game to game or from system to system. And so I wonder if it's something that we, especially in the Western audience, don't necessarily like a lot of times. we like things the way they were. Just give us another one of those. Don't stop changing things up all the time.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And again, some people in the West, we like change.
That's true.
There's nothing wrong with change. There's not, it's when change is detrimental that I think people have the biggest problem with it. When change is for the positive,
right?
People like it. People like the change. People like improvements. We just don't like things taken away from us that we were able to previously do, and things that become more of a hindrance. That's really where the fault lies.
Yeah.
Nintendo, like I said, they like to give us one thing but take away two others at the same time, and they do this with most every game. Like even Breath of the Wild. All right, game of the year, people loved it. Blah blah blah. Breath of the Wild was expansive. It was open. It was going back to the roots of Zelda 1. A lot of people loved it, but it had weapons that broke, which hadn't been done before outside of like the Bigger End's knife. You had lack of dungeons. You had the 4 dungeons that were all very similar, or 5 with the DLC, but you didn't have the standard dungeons that people were accustomed to. Some people didn't like the little shrines. They wanted a true dungeon. You had a different emphasis on story. You had the cutscenes and the flashbacks, but you didn't have that cohesive. You have to go here. You have to go here. It was very open ended, and people were expecting that. So, even as a game as great as that is, there are people who I didn't like these other elements.
Yeah.
So you can't please everybody, but when the majority of the vocal are like, yeah, come on, just give us this one thing, it gets to the point where. Look for example at Bloodstained, right? Iga left Konami because Konami said people don't want another 2D Castlevania. They did the Mercury Stream thing with Lords of Shadow. They had 1 and 2, and the Mirror of Fate on the 3DS. Oh, this is what people want, and okay, but it didn't really do well. So Iga left, decided to do a Kickstarter for Bloodstained, which was virtually Symphony of the Night mixed with the Sorrow games, at least Ritual of the Night was, and it was gangbusters. The Kickstarter went crazy, and Ritual of the Night came out, and I loved it, and a lot of other 2D Metroidvania fans loved it. And they also did the Curse of the Moon, which was a Castlevania 3 old school throwback. People loved it. Now Curse of the Moon 2 is coming out. What does that say? People like a formula Stick with that formula. You can change the characters, you can change things up, make new elements, but don't screw with the formula that works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what Nintendo doesn't always learn.
It's very true. Very true.
But I mean, they did break that formula for Zelda, because obviously they were very story driven, and it was just like, okay, go to dungeon 1, now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, go fight Ganon, boom, game's over. So they kind of completely threw that out the window, and now here it is, game of the year, and like awesome, and very welcome. So
threw out the formula of here it is, you have to go do these. But in reality, they didn't do anything new. They went back to the roots, because Zelda 1 was like that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they seem to, with certain franchises, certain IP, they do keep things closer to the original than others. So like Zelda does kind of seem to follow that same basic idea. They change it up, but they don't all the time. Like, it's not big changes like in Paper Mario. Like those are like sweeping changes that really, really upset people. Clearly, I don't care because I've never really been into the franchise. Like Basement Dweller, Super Paper Mario is my favorite Paper Mario. That's my favorite because it's the only one I've actually played. Yeah, but there are some that do seem to stick to that tried and true thing more than other franchises.
Yeah. I mean, look at Metroid, for example.
Right.
Granted, this was the Team Ninja that did it, but with other M. The biggest complaint people had with that is you couldn't use your stuff until someone told you to do it. You couldn't use, I think it was the Varia suit for the heat until you were burning half to death in the fire thing. Like, what Samus has been on all these adventures. Why is she waiting for someone to say, oh, yeah, you can put on the suit that protects you from fire halfway through the fire zone? Like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, you can't use your missiles until I say so. Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's why people had a problem with it. And I did enjoy Other M, but that's why, is because you took something that is fundamental to the series and you removed it or put a restriction on it. Sticker Star, for example, they took away experience from the battles. In an RPG, that is the very fundamental reason to battle, is to get experience to level up, and they stripped it. They stripped it. Like, that's not even a Paper Mario thing. That's an every RPG thing.
Right. It goes beyond the IP.
That's a genre staple at this point. And that if there was some kind of substitute, there wasn't. You look at big RPGs like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, each game is different. Not only does each game have a vastly different story, each game has some kind of new gimmick that they've added in. But they keep the basis the same. Keep adding in like the ATB system in 4. That was a big thing, but it didn't change the fundamental gameplay. The closest thing I could think of was, besides 15, which was radically different, was 8. 8 added the draw system, the junction system, and the draw system. I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't want to have to sit there and fight an enemy and draw a bunch of fire spells so that I could cast fire spells. And you notice they never brought that back. It was that game. That was it. People didn't like it. The next game actually was 9, which was a complete throwback to older games. They recognized that was a divisive thing. Yeah. Okay, we're leaving it in the one game, in that one world. That's it. We're moving on. The Paper Mario team does something so radical like that divides the fan base, and instead of saying, okay, you know what, let's leave that in the past, let's move on, they say, no, let's keep that and keep at it. No, stop, we don't want that. Their intentions are good. They're just misplaced, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, now that we got you all worked up, let's give some away.
Yes. Let's give another game away.
Let's go another game away, and this one's going to number 36. The question is it Jesus' number?
It is 36. Well, another high. It is Steven Sabo at DOS Steve SZ. I do not think this one is a bot. Doesn't sound like a bot.
Nice.
So congratulations.
Good name, Steve. Good name, Steve.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's a game code given away. So we've got if I got the tally right, we've got 2 games, or no, one game And one eShop card left to give away.
And a grand prize eShop card.
Ooh,
yes.
all right. Here we go. Moving on. One quick thing. We just wanted to acknowledge before we kind of get into kind of the home stretch here tonight. Is that we've talked about this before. It's been a kind of an ongoing thing. Nintendo has, for the most part, kind of avoided it a lot of times, but they've actually at least acknowledged it. The president of Nintendo has acknowledged the fact that there is some Joy-Con trouble, and he actually apologized for it. In the recent financial Q&A, they apologized, saying, regarding the Joy-Con, we apologize for any trouble caused to our customers. We are continuing to aim to improve our products, but as the Joy-Con is the subject of a class action lawsuit in the United States, and this is still a pending issue, we would like to refrain from responding about specific actions. So that's, Nintendo President Furukawa quoted on that, Kotaku has been reporting on it. Others have been reporting on it. I've still not had any Joy-Con drift issues on mine, so knocking on wood, crossing fingers, all those different things. I know that I am one of the lucky ones because it seems to be a fairly widespread issue nowadays. But at least they're acknowledging and apologizing for it. There's not really a whole lot to discuss about this, but we just wanted to kind of also acknowledge it as well. I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic, but I did want to make sure that we acknowledge that as well.
Real quick, I actually got my mail order printed out so I could send in my Joy-Con that has the drift on it. So
okay.
Hoping to send that in the coming days soon. So
nice. Are they fixing it for free?
They haven't said anything, so I think they'll either we'll get a bill or they'll fix it for free. I came a problem when all three of us were playing Animal Crossing. My wife's like, "Why is my character just like moving?" And it's like, "All right, now it's time that we can't even use it anymore." And then
nice.
Even shortly after that, the right Joy-Con, the R button stopped. We can't even like use it as a controller because you always have to hit L and R to like activate the controller. So now like the matching right Joy-Con or both my default ones that came with the console are defective.
Weird.
So
weird. Mine I've noticed in Animal Crossing, I think it's the only one I've really seen it on, but it's the only game I really play handheld on a regular basis, that every once in a while it will not acknowledge that they're connected to the Switch. And it's weird because like it'll pop up the thing that says push the L and R button, and I push them, and the one on the left is usually the one that it doesn't acknowledge. But I put it in standby and turn it right back on, it's fine. So it's weird, and it happens very intermittently. And the only problem is sometimes when I'm ready to catch like a shark or something like that, and I hit the A button, and all of a sudden it goes, nope, disconnected. I'm like, oh man, I missed my shark. So it's not that big of a deal, especially in Animal Crossing, but I noticed that was interesting. But I still don't have the drift issue. We've already mentioned that there's rumors of a Nintendo Direct possibly this month. But Barry, there's also a few other gaming events coming up. You want to do a quick rundown? What are we expecting? There's a lot of stuff over the next couple weeks.
There is a lot of stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. So first off, tomorrow, literally just a day away, Limited Run Games is doing their E3 presentation, or what would have been their E3 presentation. That is happening, I believe, 3 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. Now, there is supposedly going to be 40 games announced, which is huge. And 2 of them have already kind of come out. The biggest one is Ys Origin is coming to the Switch. I'm a huge Ys fan. That is going live for, I think it's an 8-week pre-order. It's starting tomorrow. And that is huge. So 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, that goes live. They've got a collector's edition with a steelbook. Big fan of Ys, and it's great to see that come over. But that's not all. One of my favorite if not favorite outside of Nintendo E3 presenters, is still doing their E3 presentation, and that, of course, is Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital is coming back with another Devolver Direct that is happening this Saturday, July 11th. If you've never seen a Devolver Direct, you need to go back and watch them all. They have a continuing storyline through them all. They are batshit crazy, period. That is how it is. It is unbelievable how amazing and awesome they are. It is just one of those things where it's unlike anything else. And they've always announced some really cool stuff. I think most of I think like one or two things they haven't announced that came to the Switch, but everything else pretty much has come to the Switch. So I'm expecting some really cool Switch announcements, and that is happening at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So that is something to definitely look forward to. Another one that's came out of nowhere is, I don't think we're going to see anything Switch out of this, but we might. And that is from Microsoft. They are doing the Xbox Game Showcase. That's happening July 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. I really hope we see some rare stuff. It'd be great to see some old, franchises come back. And maybe we will see some kind of, there was always rumors about Microsoft working with Nintendo. And obviously, we got Cuphead and we got a couple other things. Maybe Ori. Maybe they'll say, "Hey, guess what? The new Ori, even though it's called Xbox Game Showcase, who knows?
Sure.
Anything can happen."
Sure. Probably another Minecraft.
Maybe Minecraft Dungeons too.
Yep.
Anything is coming, so that is starting. There will be a pre-show starting at 8 a.m. Pacific for that, and then, not to be outdone, Ubisoft. This is on July 12th, actually. So this is Sunday.
Yeah.
They're doing Ubisoft Forward. It's going to be the hottest news reveals coming out, and that is. Does it actually say what time? It just says July 12th that I can see. Oh no, 12 p.m. Pacific. So another 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern. So Ubisoft Forward is then. These are honestly the replacements for E3. E3 is not happening. We didn't get these press conferences we used to have in June. The COVID obviously delayed some of the stuff, but now we're trickling them into July. So the announcements aren't done yet, and there's of course the rumor of a Nintendo Direct this July. So there is a lot happening, and that's just like the big stuff. There's also some other smaller stuff. If you've ever followed like Pix and Love, they do some really cool physical games. They have an announcement coming tomorrow, a brand new game. It's going to be like another SNK game. They did some real cool stuff with Suda51 with the Travis Strikes Again. They actually had Suda51 sign some stuff. They just put out a Samurai Showdown for the Switch that came with the Samurai Showdown 2 Pocket as a physical game instead of a card. Some really cool stuff. So I was really happy to see that.
Nice. Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about in the next podcast. And if you're not joining us on social media and our Discord, another great place to talk about all these announcements. Some of the stuff we've been able to do, like watch parties and watch along and discuss it while we're in Discord and stuff as well. So make sure you do join that and follow us on social media. Barry, let's do another giveaway. Before we,
I think so.
I think it's time to do another game, our last game that we're giving away tonight. And going back to the random number generator, and here we go. That didn't move much. 35. So from 36 to 35.
Wow, really? Yeah, it is the next one over. That is Christopher Williams at Christopher 0RY1.
Nice. Congratulations, Christopher. You won a game. And we have one more big eShop card to give away as our grand prize. So, Jesus, there's still a chance, man. There's still a chance. All right. Let's go over, as we usually do, what's coming up over the next couple weeks. There's not a whole lot, but there's some big games that are coming. And so just heading to Nintendo's site, we see that Deadly Premonitions 2 is coming out on July 10th, along with Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2. We talked about that a little bit earlier, also coming out on July 10th. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Towns coming on July 14th. And, the little game Paper Mario, Origami King is coming out on July 17th. But yeah, those are some of the highlights. Like I said, we're scrolling through the rest of them on the screen. But what kind of stands out to you guys, and what are you looking forward to playing? What are you looking forward to getting over the next couple of weeks? Greg, we'll go to you first.
Well, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I was looking forward to Paper Mario. Unfortunately, even though I have a hate on it, I still like the story, and I'll probably still end up getting it and hopefully enjoying it. But gotta be like Barry and keep those expectation bar very low. So then, when it proceeds to be actually quite a good game, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best game ever!" So definitely that one. I know Barry's been talking that Bloodstained game up a lot. I might be looking more into that because that does sound like something I would seriously enjoy. So, yeah. So those are probably the only main ones for me.
Nice. Yeah, Bloodstained, I didn't play the first one. It looked great. But the cool thing is those are it's like $15. So it's really within the budget price range, and that's really cool. I love the fact that they released a sequel, like you talked about earlier. It's kind of like this kind of spin-off thing they tried out, and now there's a sequel to it because there was so much hype over it. But there's not a whole lot on the list that I'm really, really looking forward to. I might eventually end up getting Curse of the Moon 2 as well, but that's not on top of my list. But yeah, seems like I might just be playing probably more Animal Crossing and Rocket League, and who knows, maybe no, actually the next couple of weeks are gonna be rough. There's no tournament in my future in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. Barry, what are you looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
I'm looking forward to Curse of the Moon 2, but I'm gonna be holding out that tomorrow they announce a physical, because if the first one was great, it was also a bonus game. As a backer, we got it for free. Still bought it physically as well. It was just hey, because Ritual of the Night's taking a little longer, here's Curse of the Moon as just a fun little thing. And again, the fact that it's getting a sequel is just sticking it to Konami, because it's like, look, people don't want these type of games. Well, here's a sequel to an offshoot of the game that was Kickstarted.
Yeah.
This is just and this is a different developer. This is Inti Creates. Inti Creates are very, very well known for doing great 2D action titles, and I think 505 is what did Ritual of the Night. So it was even a different developer itself got on board. Like we want this franchise. So that is one I recommend. I'm just holding out for a physical. Story of Seasons is the new Story of Seasons. Friends of Mineral Town technically is the new Harvest Moon. That is the proper Harvest Moon. I don't know if I'm gonna go for it right away, just because I just did Rune Factory 4 not too long ago, and it's one of those. Do I really got sucked into another farming game right away? Paper Mario for sure. Deadly Premonitions 2, I know a lot of people are super excited about it. I didn't play the first one, by the way, I own it. It's just I'm not a super big survival horror type, and I know it's a little bit more on the lesser survival horror and just more on the freakish horror. And I like that, like Eternal Darkness. I'm a big fan of that game, and which is funny because I don't like those type of games. But Eternal Darkness is the Lovecraftian. I really enjoyed that game, and that if they announce the sequel to that, I'll be all over it for sure.
Well, they have a couple times, but yeah.
No, they just kept renewing the.
They had that pseudo sequel thing that was supposed to happen, and it never did.
Oh yeah, Silicon Knights. Yeah, Silicon Knights is trash now.
Yeah. Yeah. A great time. I love to know what you guys are thinking about what you're playing as well. Let us know in the chat or in the comments after the fact. Let's see. Jared said he got Iron Man VR sitting on his desk, so that might hold him over till Paper Mario. Jesus said he was going to get Eunice. This is a fighting game, but he ran out of money. But maybe having Barry's two Mega Mans might be just as good. So. And Dave says he's going to be getting probably Deadly Premonitions, but waiting on a price drop for that one. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we wrap up, we do have one more giveaway. Let's see what the random
$20 eShop card.
$20 eShop card. Here we go. All right. All right, here we go. Jesus, I know you're waiting for this. I know you're hoping for this your number. I don't know what's gonna happen, but here we go. It is number 21.
21. All right. It's really it's not a number thing.
It's just hard to pronounce.
I can't. It's a face.
Oh.
It is a face. It's at Azeel Cantu, Azeel _Cantu, but it's a face. So I don't know. It's so there we go.
Like the name is a face, but they have an actual Twitter handle.
It's like the Twitter handle is it's like done as the Twitter handle is Azeel Cantu, but the name is a little face. It's like a weird man standing.
Nice.
I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody knows the number, so that's okay. You're just all in a big list of people who entered the drawing. So, but congratulations to this person. Maybe that's the actual name. I don't know. But yeah, that's a big $20 eShop card, and you could use it to any of those games right now. So. I don't really know what Jared is talking about, but just stare at the camera.
Just there. The face, you know.
Oh.
It's like a staring face.
I get you. That's the number. Wait, is that him? Really?
Oh, is that you?
That's awesome if it is. Yes, it is. Look,
really?
That's the rest of his name. That's amazing.
Oh my God! Why do you have a name that's just a face? Like,
yes,
like
that's so awesome.
Why have a face name?
Well, that'll tell you that this is completely random because we didn't even realize that was him. But that's awesome. So glad that you held out and that you won the big one for the $20 card at the end. That's awesome.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's a weird thing though. A face.
Mega Man is safe, Jared says.
Mega Man is safe. Yes.
Oh man, it's been so awesome. Like Barry said, we're gonna do some more giveaways in the future. This was kind of a really good. We had a great turnout. I'll just say that, and it was cool to see all that happen. Celebrating 200 episodes of the podcast. Now we got 201 in the bag. So. Who knows, maybe we'll hit, what we'll give away when we hit 300 or something like that. But until that day comes, we're going to be doing some other small giveaways here and there. So continue to stay tuned to our social media at NintendoFuse on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well. Make sure you join our Discord. We'd love to keep this conversation going. Next podcast is going to be on July 21st. So 2 weeks from today, July 21st, we'll be talking about all those game events that Barry ran through earlier and whatever else happens in the next couple weeks. Maybe a Nintendo Direct. I feel like that's like a maybe for the last 20 episodes. But yeah, if you guys won any of the awards or the awards, the giveaways tonight, just DM us. We will follow all of you guys as soon as we get done with this podcast. So if you can't DM us right now, just wait till we follow you, and then you can DM us to claim your code, and we'll send that over to you. So congratulations to all the winners. Do you guys have anything to say before we wrap up tonight? Greg, anything?
Greg. Well, congrats to all the winners, and it was great talking games with you guys. Can't wait for the next one. Hopefully we do get a Nintendo Direct, but you never know with these things. 'Cause we've been predicting one since like February and still haven't had one yet. So
it's true.
Who knows if we're to have one or if there's just like another announcement trailer like, oh, here's Breath of the Wild 2.
It's true.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah. Barry, anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to just thank everybody for watching and sticking with us. 201 now episodes is a long time. And also like to thank everybody that did enter the contest. Congrats to the winners. And yeah, it was a great turnout, and we'll definitely be doing this again. It's our first actual Twitter contest, so it was really cool to do that. And hopefully we have some of those hanging around. Some we're gonna get bots apparently. We'll see, but that's how it goes. But it's great to have some new fresh faces, and hopefully we see you guys at the these podcasts because they're fun. It's great to talk to Steve. It's great to talk to Greg. From my perspective, hopefully they enjoy talking to me. But for me, it's also about the fans. It's about the community. It's about the chat. It's about just being a part of that. And if you're listening to this after the fact, hopefully you're still entertained and we are entertaining you. But, it is really awesome just to be able to real chat with people and, connect with them via, Discord and Twitter and just get to talk games even outside of the podcast days, because I love talking games all the time. And Greg and Steve, we all talk games all the time, and that's part of the fun of this. It's a community. We like to have fun. So yeah, thanks again. And I will be saying I was supposed to be doing this last night actually, but they had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so we couldn't record last night. But I'm actually going to be a guest on another podcast. And I don't know when it's going to come because we haven't recorded yet, but it's the We the Gamer Cast, which I believe also celebrated 200 episodes, which is kind of cool. So I was supposed to be recording last night. Just waiting to find out when we get to record, but supposedly it's supposed to happen. And do have an industry talk going live soon at NintendoFuse. That's going to be up on our YouTube. It is live on the Switchmania Playcast. That's the audio version. This is the first time we're doing an industry talk that's split. But the video version is going to be on our YouTube, where you can see me, and we're talking with Physicality Games, which is a publisher doing, taking digital games and turning them into physical. Really great guys. So follow them if you are interested in their stuff. And definitely watch that industry talk. And and the next time you'll see me is on the Switchmania Playcast. The next time we'll see all of us will be in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, make sure you check out all that stuff. If you haven't subscribed to us, if you haven't hit that bell on YouTube, make sure you do all those things. Like, comment, all that stuff. But especially make sure you're subscribed so you do get that industry talk when that goes live. That's going to be a good one with Barry and Physicality Games. Until next time, man, it's been great to talk games with you guys. Happy gaming, and we'll see you on episode 202.
Have a good one.
Take care.